Hello everyone, Paul Rogers here. Today is February the 2nd, 2018. Now, as my last video stated, I predicted that we're at the bottom right now. Within 48 hours, I thought that we would reach a bottom. I thought that Bitcoin and the market in general would make one last push downwards. And I think this has just happened. I'm looking at the charts and Bitcoin did break 8,700 and went down to about 8,000. I never saw it really go into the $7,000 range. I'm sure in some brokers it did, maybe 7,900 or so, but it seemed to have found support around there, and it looks like it was because I did see that the 30 RSI was reached, and I am looking at this moving average, and it looks like it just started to kiss this moving average and started to back off. Right as of right now, we're back into this old trend channel right here. It's been established for a long time, this daily trend channel, and then of course Bitcoin went parabolic, and now we've returned to normality. I mean, this trend channel was very bullish, and it wasn't very long ago. We're talking August, September, even October of last year. And now Bitcoin has broken into it, but I think that this trend channel, this is what I'm looking at right here, is that this trend channel is going to hold up, and Bitcoin is going to bounce and head higher. So today is critical. In order for this to have validity for me, I'm going to need to see a nice big long candle, just like this. Big long candlestick. And I'm going to need to see price shoot all the way back up into this downward trend channel. And then after that, we're going to need to see some bullish candles heading up higher to make sure this isn't we don't have a repeat where we have a down day, a small correction, and then it goes further down. In order for this to be the last dip, we need a nice long shadow, and we need to see we need to go and hit this resistance on this daily trend channel, which is probably going to be around 13,000 or so. That's going to convince me that the markets are recovering. And I do think, I'm going to stick with my prediction of yesterday. I do think that we will have the bottom today or tomorrow. And I do think 8,700 is a really good place to buy. I know some other technical experts were looking at 7,500, and that of course is still possible, but I don't think it's probable. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum. Wow. Okay. So Ethereum has had a really nice retracement. It hit this was a previous low, and look what happened. As soon as it touched that previous low, bunch of people jumped in and bought it up. And price shot up over $100. It's at $913 right now. That's a positive sign. That means that a whole bunch of buyers were looking to pick up Ethereum at a discount, and I hope a lot of them did. I hope they weren't just a bunch of large players doing this. I hope that some small players were able to pick it up at a discount. The problem is that small players are the ones that usually can least afford losses like this. At least on their balance sheets, they're not used to seeing things go down this far. They get scared easily. They panic and they sell at the worst possible times. They give in to the fear. To go back to my dolphin analogy, where I say that little fish are like a school of little fish in the ocean, and that the big players are like dolphins trying to break up the ball of swirling fish, and the breakup make some of them panic and leave the ball and go by themselves, and they get picked off pretty easily. I mean, this is what we're witnessing. This isn't the end of cryptocurrencies, the end of blockchain. Not at all. Not at all. Not not by a long shot. This is like, imagine, when the internet came out and there was the first downturn. Doesn't mean that that internet is going to be gone just because there was a downturn in some internet companies, right? Well, blockchain is just getting started. It's not even anywhere close to developed or mature by any standards. So don't listen to this FUD. Do not be susceptible. If you need to, stop reading things and just put your head in the sand for a week or two. I guarantee you that in the long run, you will really regret if you sell right now. You will really regret it. You got to think long term, everyone. Long term, and have a strong hand. So this is super positive watching all these buyers step in exactly at the previous low. I mean, they were just waiting there. This is the work of a big player. Big players. Big players look at these charts. Big players do this kind of stuff. So, just understand what's happening. Not everyone was able to get Ethereum at $10. Not everyone was able to buy Bitcoin at 200. The people that were skeptical are not happy with the fact that they have to buy Ethereum at $1,300, $1,400. They're not okay with that. That's not okay with them, okay? Once they figured out they missed the train, what they're going to do is make sure that the train comes back to them. And they actually have the power to do that. I mean, all you have to do is control the news cycle for a couple months, and you can orchestrate a crash. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. I mean, you think about all the people that make ads to promote their projects. These aren't expensive articles. They might cost a couple $1,000. If we're talking about big players that have billions at their disposal, releasing FUD articles and things like that, that's cheap. That's nothing for them. Nothing. That is no money whatsoever. That is just being broadcasted through Bloomberg and CNN and whoever else, the typical, typical things that move the retail investor, right? The television. They're just pumping that information out there and scaring people. And then the ones that panic sell, those are they scoop up those coins, pennies on the dollar, and they run off with it, and that's it. So this happens all the time. This is not unique to our market whatsoever. It's just maybe unique to some new crypto investors, and those are the ones that get burned. So I do not know if today was the bottom for Ethereum. I don't know if today is the bottom for Bitcoin. I do think that it will happen today or tomorrow. I mean, technically speaking, everything is pointing towards today being the bottom. RSI did kiss 30. Everything's kind of lining up to say, hey, this is it. It's if I'm wrong and it goes lower, so be it. But I'm not gonna panic sell. I won't do it. I understand. I have conviction over the underlying technology that is distributed ledger or blockchain technology. I have conviction for that. And because of my conviction, there's no price I would sell in a panic at. Because I know that when all the fake news articles are released and all the fear is done, you have what's left? The technology. The value of the technology. Right? That's left. And that's not going anywhere. That's going to expand. People that are working on big projects, they're not quitting working on their big project because the price of Bitcoin is down. And it's not even really down. I mean, last time this year, what was the price of Bitcoin? $1,000 or something like that? A couple of thousand? What was the price of Ethereum a year ago? What was the price of Dash a year ago? You look at these things, you have to keep things in perspective. If 1 year ago someone said, hey, the price of Ethereum is going to be $900, my mind would be blown. I'd be, whoa, that grew way faster than I expected. And I say, you know what, too? Let me give you one more piece of advice. Me from the future. A lot of people are going to be panic selling when Ethereum's at 900. And I would have a big question mark over my head and say, what? Yeah. People will be panic selling when Ethereum is at 900. First thing I think is panic selling. Is it because they think that's the top and they're trying to exit or something like that because it shot up really quickly, or what? That would be the first thought in my head. I wouldn't be thinking, oh, it's because it went to 1,400 and then pulled back to 900 or 800 or 700 and 770, right? That wouldn't be my first thought. If someone told me that, I'd laugh and say, so Ethereum is I don't know what it was a year ago. I'll have to look. Let me find out really quick just for this example. We're going to have to go back in time. Wow. Okay. A year ago, Ethereum was about $10. Ethereum a year ago was $10.59. And going back in time and telling myself, yeah, people are panic selling because Ethereum dropped down to $771. It would be a joke, an absolute joke. Let's keep perspective, everyone. It doesn't even matter if Ethereum goes back to $500. It doesn't matter. A year ago, we were at $10. If it retraces to 500, consolidates, and then moves higher, great. Great. We need to keep things in perspective here. All right? Don't get scared. This is big players playing games because they regret not buying Ethereum when it was $10 last year. This is all that's happening. This is it. Understand it. Go about your business with a smile on your face. Do not feel sad. Don't mope around. This is relatively speaking a spoiled child crying. If you are pouting about this, if you look at the history of where things have been, you're being a spoiled child, I've got to say. If you bought at the high, if you bought Ethereum at 1,400, if you bought Bitcoin at 19,000, don't worry. Don't worry. In 10 years from now, this will be a blip, a little small blip on the price action. Okay? Yeah, you didn't pick the very best time to buy in the short term, but that's okay. Price will break to new all-time highs. So just be patient. Just be patient. Anyhow, I'm hoping that by Monday or Tuesday, I'll be making a video talking about the rebound. But if I'm making a video about how things keep going down, that's okay too, because I understand the big picture and where all this is going. And I'm going to sleep good at night. Anyhow, Paul Rogers out.